Hi, I'm Tamara Zoner. Welcome to Spirit Cafe. Come in, sit down, and grab a cup of love. Welcome back to another episode of Spirit Cafe. I am Tamara Zoner, sharing stories and conversations to perk up your soul. Today, I'm very excited to have Victoria Rader. I think I've got it right. Yes, Victoria Rader. There's this wonderful place in the internet world called Podmatch, and it helps me connect to fabulous guests like Victoria. And of course, I go checking them out to see how they show up on video. And I found Victoria chatting with Jack Canfield. So I was like, yes, I want this woman on my show. So welcome, Victoria. Let's hear a little bit from you. Tell us who you are and your spiritual journey that led you here.
Hi, Tamara. Thank you so much for, first of all, for hosting and for putting the work and the love that you do. If you guys have not hosted a podcast, I just always want to honor the every host I get an opportunity to come to. It is a labor of love, and it is always an honor to be a part of that labor of love. So thank you for creating this space. And I believe in one of the laws that I teach about and write about is the law of serendipities and synchronicities. And so it's fascinating. I was just finishing a chapter for a book on intuition, and I was writing about how things just build and lead one thing to the next, one thing to the next. And so when you ask this, how did you kind of end up here? I'm like, oh my gosh, I just wrote 20 pages on that.
I must have been tuning in.
You tuned in, and the answer I think is very simple, and it's probably true of all of us. By kind of following this still small inkling to do things, however inconvenient sometimes or scary they might look like, failing forward, getting up, cleaning up the mess, and continuing on.
I love it. Following the little trail, right, of golden nuggets that lead you to where you're supposed to be in life. Beautiful. So you teach EFT, which is one of my favorite tools, and I teach a lot of my clients this fabulous tool because it was so important in the early part of my kind of coming into who I actually am, not trying to be who I wasn't, and uncovering and getting out of my body all that stuff that I had stored in there for years. And you took that to a new level. So tell us how you got into EFT and then what the heck you did with it.
Yeah, with the EFT, just like you, I love and honor the modality the way it was created as a way of releasing it. But then I found that a lot of my amazing clients that were coming in, and it's one of the many modalities that I practiced in coaching, they were a little bit cautious about EFT. And the observation was that as they were releasing things that no longer served them very successfully, unless they had a way to tune in to what it is that they wanted, the body seemed to kind of go just to the very next level of shock or to the next level of trauma. And so, as I started pondering on the cause for that over the years, I realized that the remarkable men who were men that have given us a gift of EFT were leaning mostly into the masculine energy of purging.
Mhm.
The and I don't mean gender, I mean the energy. The masculine energy is there to purge and create space for creation. When it's unhealthy, it goes to war, right? I'm
Mhm.
Ukrainian. My country is being attacked by unhealthy masculine energy that wants power by conquering and destroying everything in its way. Healthy masculine energy creates space. And that was to me the first gorgeous step of EFT. It created space. But then it was missing the feminine energy, which is there to nourish
Mhm.
and to grow the new beginning. And so we've created this step two, or the complete package of Free-mE EFT, where we guide our clients through what I call a heart-centered tapping. As to once you release whatever it is you're releasing, you pause, you tune in into what you would rather have,
Mhm.
and in a very peaceful, sacred manner, you affirm it into the heartbeat of your heart. Because That's what feminine energy does. Like unhealthy, we harbor everything. We remember every offense from 20 years.
Yeah.
But healthy, it creates growth, it creates comfort, and it nurtures. So that would be the only way I think that we have framed our brand of EFT, and that's why it's called Free-Me EFT.
I love that. I love that. It is so important. I often use this metaphor of cleaning out your closet when we're, kind of reprogramming ourselves and being more authentic and working on our happiness and tuning into what we really want to have in our lives. And it's like we clean out the closet, we pull out all the stuff, the room becomes a total disaster, and that's okay because we know that we're going to get rid of what no longer serves us and put back what we want to keep. And that creates space for more of what you truly want, not just what happened to fill your closet over the years. So I love that you equate it to the masculine and the feminine because it makes it feel even more spacious. It's really, really beautiful. So I have to know, like, how did you get to talk to Jack Canfield?
Jack Canfield interviewed me about my book. My most recent book is called Prosper Me, the 35 Universal Laws to Make Money Work for You.
Aha.
And both Jack Canfield and I at different times were coached by great Bob Proctor. And so Bob Proctor helped Jack Canfield on his very journey of starting with the chicken soup for the soul. And so I met Jack through one of his amazing programs where he would talk about launching a book, and then he would interview the authors. And so he chose to endorse the book. That's in a nutshell what
Nice.
happened. He's a remarkable, remarkable human being. And I was really overwhelmed by authenticity and humility that comes through him and with him. And it was really a beautiful experience.
Oh, that's so exciting. I've trained with Janet Atwood and Marcy Shimoff, and they're all in that circle, and they're just such beautiful human beings. So, what a gift to have him endorse your book. That's exciting. So, tell us about your book.
Yeah, the book is called Prosper Me, and I spell me as little m, big E. I am very passionate about each one of us loving all parts of who we are. And so to simplify it, I look at little m, big E, and little m is the mortal matter that we are that manifests and materializes, right? It's the material world, both in physical and financial way. And then the E is that eternal energy that is essential and is expensive. And from that perspective, for me, prosperity is a daily surrender of our little m, of our little mortality and matter to that eternal energy that we are. And it's a conscious choice, and it's a choice that is done through love. And so the book teaches prosperity through 35 universal laws, the universal because they can be applied to every area of our life. But I choose to apply them then in practical steps to working with money. The book was guided and channeled and, of course, released only for me to realize later at a time when we're sliding into recession. So I believe it's just a timely tool to equip anybody who wants to go from survival to stability and then to success and significance in their life.
I love that. Money and spirituality aren't often talked about together. And when it is talked about, it's usually about the spiritual people thinking that they can't ask for money or be rewarded for the services that they're providing because it's not spiritual. So, how did you get into working with money, and what's your spiritual, how do you look at it? How do you look at money? What's the function of money on a spiritual level?
Such a amazing question. I love the way you framed that question. And so in a two-sentence story of how I got into money, I didn't grow up with any ability or knowledge of managing money. I was born in the Soviet Union where everything belonged to the government and money was evil. Any form of it, any time, and for everyone. So, but I got my son who at age 3, I was homeschooling my kids, and at age 3, he was teaching him the little red hen story. And if you don't have kids, the story is about little red hen asking other animals to help her make bread, and those that help her get bread, and those that don't get bread. That's the moral of the story.
Okay.
And I teach him this fairy tale. And he does the puppet show, he puts the puppets on, and he starts telling me the story. Only in his version, the little wolf or dog, rather, that refuses to help the hand says, I'm too busy drawing a map because the map will take me to treasure. And once I have the money, I will buy any bread I want. And I remember sitting there going like, wait a minute, I have a capitalist on my hands. Little communist mama here is given birth to a capitalist boy. And I truly made a choice first to realize the gap that I had.
Mhm.
You know, we were struggling financially, and that was the norm for me. You know, we become very comfortable feeling uncomfortable.
Yes.
Struggling with money was the norm.
Right.
And all of a sudden, my 3-year-old says, there is not necessarily a better way, there's a different way. So I got my hands on every possible book that I could on money. I got into real estate. I paid all of our mortgages. I invested in real estate. I've learned how money works. And I realized the true freedom that money brings. That is to live your calling and be the spiritual being that you are without need for starvation to
Mhm.
learn to be one.
Oh god, that's so gorgeous. I love that, and it's interesting because, EFT is the tool that I started using to create a healthy relationship with money because, I was raised by working class family who and Catholic, so money is the root of all evil, and yes, money is bad, and we never have enough, and oh, those rich people, and when I was doing my passion test certification with Janet Atwood, one of the things they had us do was for 1 full minute, just write down everything we could on our thoughts about money, and every thought I had was negative. And I thought, well, no wonder. No wonder that I struggle with money because I hate it, right? Money and we don't get along. And so I went home from that training and I started really looking at my relationship with money and EFT. I don't even know how it came to me, right? Like how EFT found me. But that's what I started tapping on was money and all my beliefs about money and then starting to shift them. And that's one of my favorite things about EFT is that you just get to tell all the truth. Right? It's not like glossy affirmations. It was like literally tapping, I hate money. I never have any. It's no good. And then what I wanted to have, like what kind of relationship I wanted to have. And it's been really beautiful. And every every year it's like I'm upgrading not only my life, but my spiritual values and beliefs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of where it goes with it because money in and of itself is just energy.
Mhm.
And spiritual essence in and of itself is just energy. So we actually describe it as such, right? Just like water is a biological support to life, we talk about flow. Money is the economic support of life. We talk about cash flow. The
Yeah.
rivers go through the banks, so does the money.
Ah,
It goes
I
through
love
the
that.
banks. And the more you realize, like, there's so many parallels between money being the currency, just like the water is the current of life.
Oh my gosh.
Economically, as long as we're alive, we've got to be comfortable with the currency of life economically. And it is neither good nor bad, it is simply a magnifier of our greatest patterns of who we are. Money doesn't change us,
Mhm.
it frees us to be who we are. And so, if you're struggling, you can be seen for the person who's struggling with morals or corruption or whatever your spirit is currently learning, but it doesn't change you. It's just a magnifier. So many of us are so afraid of not knowing how to accept and forgive parts of who we are that we choose to hide
Mhm.
behind the limitation of money.
Right.
Because if we have more, we'll have to be seen more for who we are. And we're not quite ready yet to see ourselves enough to love and forgive ourselves.
Ooh, that's big. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, especially since it's coming for both of us at the same time. Right? You've witnessed that, I'm sure. I think what happens so often is, and I've seen that over and over and over and over again with my client work, we have, each one of us has this part of us that is kept the biggest secret. And we tell ourselves, if only people saw that one part, there is no way I could be loved and
Mm.
worthy as I am. I call that our most scared part. Most scared part. Some of us say push through it, some of us say change it, shift it, but the solution always is step into your sacred part, which is that big E, your connection to love, and then love the scared part. Love it until it's no longer afraid, until it comes out and says, yeah, that's what I really think about all those people. Help me. I'm not ready to change it.
Mm.
We're so eager to find the darkness in us so we can change it.
Yeah, like we think we need to fix it instead of embracing it
Race it.
first.
Yeah. Love it. And so the more we learn who we are, the more we love ourselves through those patterns, the more money naturally comes into our life because it magnifies who we are and we don't have to hide as much. And I'm talking about healthy relationship with money, right? I'm not talking about people that couldn't care less about which parts of them are seen. You know?
Right. Some come to mind. I
Yeah.
love that so much, and, when I started recognizing that I could do so much more with more money, I can reach more people, I can help more people. That's when the flow, like, it's not about us, right? It's not about us and do we have it and do we not? And will my dad hate me if I make more money than he did or think I'm one of those rich people, it it means that I can be of greater service in the world. The more money I make, the more I get to give. I freaking love giving away money. Like, I love fundraising and not my own necessarily. I love to give my own away too, but I love to raise money to give, and give and give. And I love this. And when I feel about it that way, money feels like this playground, right? It's like it's a fun place to be. It's not a hardship. And as long as I'm thinking it's hard, like making money is hard or giving some away is hard or paying my bills is hard, then it always will be, right? So how do you help people make that shift? Where do you start?
Years ago, I actually recorded series that are still free on YouTube.
Cool.
And I start with that very phrase that we use all the time, and I used to use it. It's a colloquial, we say make money.
Hmm.
That, all the time, that in and of itself, energetically, is an impossibility coach. That's the irony, right? I tell people anything's possible. And so I want to lean into that and explain that because money is energy, and the very basic law of energy says energy is neither created nor destroyed. So once you understand that you're shifting from all of us, myself included, I go, oh, I need to make more money. The second I am grateful enough to catch that pattern, I'll say, wait a minute, no, 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 I can't make it. I know I'm trained to do that. I'm here to manage the money flow through me in the best and highest way. So, whether you're doing it through tapping or theta heal or any other pattern, or, the doing that free video, let's say, you want to release this fear of not making enough because the reality is none of us are making any.
I love that's
That's
so
reality,
liberating, that thought.
right?
Yeah, I
Right?
like how you say managing the flow of money moving through you. That's liberating. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, those resources are free. And then what I found, we talk about emotion as energy in motion. And what we found is that all of us have a driving, freeing emotion. And if that emotion is not aligned with our relationship with money, it'll block us from having it.
Mm.
So we actually created a quiz. It's called very primitively moneyquiz.me because it's money quiz and then
Makes it
boom,
easy. We like
dot me.
simple.
And if you take that quiz, what it'll do for you, it'll tell you which driving emotion you have come to create your reality through, but also the red flags of where it can minimize your ability to be prosperous. And then it tells you these are the three laws that you can start practicing right now. And so those are free resources that I'm very passionate about it, that we've created to help people get unstuck and flow. Because you don't, nobody can take anything from anyone. Tamara can't take away from me. I can't take away from Tamara. We have an infinite source. All of us do. And so as we're all allowing for that money to be managed through all of us, we're all prospering. So
I love that. That's so expansive and so true. I often talk about coaches that way, oh, there's another coach, but we're all there's no it's abundant. It's abundant. And every single person out there is attracted to certain qualities and we're all unique. So there's no limitation to clients. There's no limitation to what we can move through us energetically.
and
It's
I often say,
expansive. Yeah. Go on.
oh, no, I often say that, when you look at the competition versus collaboration, the simple observation states that whatever we like, we want to have more of. I mean, I haven't met a person who has just one collectible or one book. If I'm reading about quantum physics, I have 30 books. And so once you realize that people you might look at as competition are actually your people,
Right,
you
right.
share clients because we always want more of the same thing. They say you want to give a great gift, see what a person already has a lot of, and give it to them.
That's so true. That is so yeah, I've got stacks and stacks of personal development books. A few of them are tapping books. And my boyfriend loves cars and he has like way too many of them. Like I'm not going to buy him a car for a gift because he does that for himself, but that's so true. Little collections like my sister used to collect Happy Meal toys. She got like hundreds and hundreds of Happy Meal toys. And it's so true. Whatever we put our attention on expands, right? So
Absolutely.
beautiful. I love it. Now, you mentioned 3 laws in that fun little quiz, but you have 35 universal laws that you talk about in your book. So that's a lot of laws. How many universal laws are there?
Yeah, there is one and there's many. The basic law of universe is energy is. And because it is such a profound and simple law, our human brain cannot wrap itself around it. Like if we truly understood what that means, universe is, God is, light is, we're all set. But we've come here to have fun and mess up doing so.
I love that.
So the answer is there are really infinite aspects of that one law. And the 35 that I was guided to write are the 35 that I saw as very clear patterns in my life that has provided a path of prosperity. And so the three in the quiz are just the starting point. So you don't go like, which one do I grab? We actually have an app. It's Empower Me, once again, little M, big E. And on the app, we have the My Money laws where you can grab the phone, you shake it, and it tells you which law to work on because it serendipitously aligns you with that law. So they're not meant to overwhelm you. They're just meant to be a starting point, for somebody will find something, at least one aspect, master one aspect.
Right. Yeah, there are a whole lot of universal laws, so don't try to do all at once, people. Just one little piece at a time. Oh, so much fun. So you're working on a new book now. You already have how many books? 3, 4 books?
4, 5. I
5?
have I have a few books that I've written, and I have a few books that I'm collaborated. So this new book, I'm just doing a chapter 4, and it's a book on intuition. But the one that is the beginning of the series, Prosper Me. I'm sure that you have that your listeners have had exposure to the energy chakra system, and that book is the first book in the series of 7 books that will each focus on opening a different energy center. I call them possibility centers. So, our root chakra is our possibility to thrive. When it is blocked, it keeps us in survival. When it is open, it puts us on a path of thriving. So, Prosper Me book is the Prospering Possibility Center opening book. And I don't know whether it takes 7 years or 70 and whether they'll ever be written, but that's kind of the path of the books that I have in mind.
Nice. That's so beautiful. So you really are well-rounded in your work. It feels like you touch a little bit of every energetic area. And tell me, how do you specifically work with clients? Do you work one-on-one, or do you do groups or free class? What is the story about around how people work with your how really what I'd love to ask coaches especially is how do you like to work with people?
Yeah, I do have very few one-on-one clients. They're mostly clients that have been with me for many years, and I honor that relationship. And my main clients are now spiritual and energy coaches and healers that are looking to expand their business. And I have a subscription group for them. It's called Quantum Freedom. And so, I do that 4 or 5 times a month where we have different programs to grow them. And I love it. I love pouring everything that comes for me and through me into seeing them thrive. Like I get choked up, right? At some point, you go from success to significance where you see people succeed. And then I have 7 team members that are coaches in immediate business that do individual sessions for clients that want to do sessions through us. um, Actually, we just onboarded an amazing gentleman who Benjamin Davidson, who interviewed me for his podcast. He's a dream psychologist.
Okay.
And so, I was so fascinated by what he had to offer. And so that's what I love. I honestly love witnessing how spiritual businesses and practices expand by following the principles that have worked for me.
Oh, it's so beautiful. There's that word again, expand. It just talking to you feels expansive. And I'm gonna go take your money quiz too, because that sounds really fun.
You'll have fun.
I'm gonna put that in the show notes, and I'll share my experience because man, I'm an open book and I'll tell you anything. Except for about my kids, because that's their business, not mine to share. Um, so gosh, it's almost been a half an hour already. We're getting to that point. How do people find you aside from that money quiz, which I will put in the links? Where do you show up on social media? If I just want to have all things Victoria, where do I follow you?
Yeah, on social media, the Instagram is at Vika_Rader. So it's Vika is Vica_Rader. That's my handle on Instagram. And the website is you2shine.com, YU2shine.com, and the Instagram handle will be there as well. So between the two, and I always get back with everybody. I mean, that are within the limitation of appropriate conduct.
Right. So if you send her an appropriate message, people.
And sometimes it might take me a few days, but if you have a genuine question, I will always get back with you. So,
Wonderful. I really appreciate your time. You're just a lovely, lovely divine being, and I can just feel it and like sparkles shoot off of you and full of
takes one to
love.
see one, Tamara. Takes one to see one.
Thank you, Victoria. I also love because I think it's so important the work that you're doing with money. So many people shy away from it and in one way or another, and just addressing it in the really loving way that you do, I think it's a true and important gift in this world. So thank you so much because I know what it feels like to have a toxic relationship with money and how it feels to heal that. And it matters. It's so vital because we really do require it to function in society, right?
Surprise!
Yeah.
We can make it cyber, but it still gets to be counted.
Exactly, exactly. Anything else that you want to share with our listeners or our viewers? I love the nuggets of wisdom that sometimes come through at the very end of a show like this.
I often share this um, as a message, but it's kind of coming a little bit different today, and that is, and I hope that this does not act as a trigger. You have such an advanced audience when I scan energetically your listeners that I hope this is a gift and not a trigger. That we're all taught to not have a program, I'm not enough. We're all taught that as a way to prosper. And I love that and I honor that. And what I would like to offer to all of us is to know the difference between I'm not enough spiritually, which is a lie, and to always know that we are enough. And then the practical step off, maybe I don't have enough skills. I think we're being blinded to our weakness and then we're kept by it. So I think it's very important to say, I am enough as a divine being, and I'm humble enough as that divine being to go find out which skill I am lacking, which effort I'm not taking, where am I not enough practically so that I can be expanded once again spiritually. So I just offer that with immense love and honor because once again, I know that it could be misheard. My intention is for it to be heard from a place of love. So it's okay to feel sometimes maybe somewhere you're not enough if it is placed practically, correctly, and is liberating.
I love that. I love that. So, people, if it is feeling more triggering than opening, listen to it again and set your intention to hear Victoria's intention and to feel the love in that statement, because that was beautiful. You are enough, we know it. And sometimes we don't have the skills and the tools required for us to feel like it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Oh, that was good. That was the juicy nugget I knew you had. See, that's that intuition at work again. Thank you. Thank you so much, Victoria. And I'm just going to, hopefully I won't accidentally hit end on the Zoom like I did for the last guest I had. But because we'll chat for just a second afterwards. If I can figure out how to, there we go. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers on YouTube. Tell us what you thought of this episode, and then go take that money quiz and come back and tell me what your results were, and we'll chat about it. Okay. And either way, like, subscribe, share with someone who needs to hear this beautiful message that Victoria has for all of us today. I appreciate you, and I appreciate Victoria, and I will talk to you all next. Thank you for joining us on Spirit Cafe. Please leave all comments on our Spirit Cafe Facebook page or in the comments below our YouTube videos.